Hello and welcome back to the BMX Fairgrounds, this time for Freestyle. If you haven't seen racing already, I recommend doing so now. And again, the 16 trucks we saw in racing are back here to battle it out for a Freestyle championship. Anyway, let's get on to the new and updated rules for Season 2 of these videos. Here we have a CRD chassis to help us demonstrate how the rules are going to work for this season. So, each truck will have 2 minutes and 30 seconds to complete the course. Time will start the moment they hit their first obstacle, whether it be a jump, a car, a donut, basically whatever. And each truck will have a 30-second grace period from the start of their run to basically flip over. Because this season, when a truck rolls over, that's it, its run is over. However, if it does manage to roll over within the first 30 seconds of the run, it may be allowed to get itself back onto all 4 tires at the cost of 30 seconds to its run, which would essentially turn a 2-minute 30-second run into a 2-minute run if the truck happens to roll over within the first 30 seconds of the run. Otherwise, Freestyle effectively the same way as it would be in the previous season, except now the trucks can't roll themselves back onto their wheels. So, with that out of the way, let us get on to our very first truck of this event. Our very first competitor today is going to be Overkill Evolution. Getting time started by going up one of the racing ramps here. Trying to find some obstacles to hit. Looks like he's going to go up over the tabletop, land down next to some of the crush cars he placed out for Freestyle. He pops it into a slap wheelie. Gives a little tap to the motorhome, put up on the finishing tabletop, and he broke something. Looks like one of the 4-link bars broke based on how the rear axle is looking now. That doesn't seem to be stopping Overkill Evolution, though, as they're still determined to put on a show here. Looks like he's going to go for our bust pile here, as he gets caught on it. Probably the 4-link bar got stuck in one of the crushed cars, but he managed to make it over the stack. Going back to the motorhome now, up and over the motorhome he goes as he lands it right back down. Still having problems with that rear axle, but as he puts in a donut, doesn't seem to be stopping him at all. Up the center ramp he goes, bouncing right off of it. Truck spins around. The rear axle still doesn't seem to be helping him all that much, though. Up over the racing ramp. Gonna go back to the motorhome. Absolutely nosedives it, breaking steering in the front wheel as he rolls it over. And he puts it back on all 4 tires. And time is now up for Overkill Evolution. And it looks like he will end his run right there. Fairly good start, I must say, but we still have 15 more trucks to go, so let's get on to our next competitor. Up next we have Screamin' Demon. up over part of the racing course as he pops it into the air. Goes along the sidelines over some of the big jumps. Popped a little bit of a slap wheelie on the way over to the tabletop, and he's got to break it hard now into a stoppie. Has to not hit the fence. He rolls it over, but can he bring it back? Yes, he can. Pretty good save by Screamin' Demon, I must say, considering the new rules we have. Up over the car stack he goes. Up over the motorhome. Going back for the center ramp, up he goes, a sky wheelie over the ramp. Looks like Screamin' Demon's gonna put it into a donut here. Back up the center ramp he goes. Lands it right back down. Smashes into the back of the motorhome. Lands on top of it and rolls the truck over as he tries to come off. Our next competitor up is Northern Nightmare. Off to the bus stack he goes, up and over the bus and vans. Swinging the truck around to go over one of the tabletops used in racing. Absolutely clears the motorhome, and you gotta slow down to not hit those concrete barriers. Up over racing lane again, lands it down sideways, hits a wall, loses his wheel on the wall. And even though the run was not 30 seconds long, I don't think Northern Nightmare would want to start the run over with their wheel missing and steering broken in one of the other wheels. Unfortunate end for the run here for Northern Nightmare. But with that, let's move on to the next truck. Up next, we have a World Finals competitor. In fact, the first one to enter the World Finals last season. We have Obsessed. Obsessed did fairly good in racing, but ended up losing to Max D in round 2. Let's see what Obsessed has for us in freestyles. He pops it into a walkie, rolls the truck over, and saves it all within the first 10 seconds. Up and over the motorhome he goes, landing it back down fairly hard. The truck still seems to be running perfectly fine though as he jumps up one of the racing ramps. Slams it back down after that sky wheelie. Jumping over the bus he goes. And putting the truck into a donut. Pretty good donut by Obsessed here. Let's see what else he has in store for us. He goes up over the racing lane. Going back to the motorhome. Drives right over the motorhome. That looks like his tire's a bit flat there. Let's see how that'll affect the run. Although it doesn't seem to be affecting it that much at all. Driving right up over the car stack. like he's going to go for the backflip ramp up into the air. Some huge air by Obsessed. The truck flips itself over. Right back onto his tires. Can he get out of this situation? Yes, he is. Looks like he's going for the backflip part of the ramp now. Up into the air. Nice flip as he lands it down on the side, breaking a wheel. Can he recover? Doesn't quite look like it. Well, with time up in Obsessed's run, that was a fairly good run. Probably the best one we've seen so far, based on my opinion. But again, we still have some more trucks to go through here, so let us get on to the next driver. Up next, we have Gunslinger. Although they lost in round 1 to Destroyer, let's see what Gunslinger has for us in Freestyle. Up into the air, Gunslinger goes, starting off the time, and up and over the car stack as well. Now attacking the bus here, up and over the bus. Gunslinger trying to turn it around, but ends up rolling over. Can he save it? He is, but he seems to be stuck on the concrete barrier here. Yeah, he's stuck. But thanks to the new rule in place, he will be allowed to come off the barrier with the loss of 30 seconds of the time. So let's drag him back onto the course. With Gunslinger back on the track, we'll let him restart, and as soon as he starts moving, we will restart the timer for his run. Off he goes. Timer has now restarted. Starting off this part of the run with some nice air off the center tabletop. Now going for the center ramp here. Up into a sky wheelie. He slams it down hard on the tailgate there and puts it into a bit of a pop wheelie there. Nice air off the tabletop and a bit of a sky wheelie and into a slap wheelie once again. Going a little squirrely, but he manages to keep it stable. Back to the bus stack here, up he goes. Right back down in a little bit of a bounce and next to the backflip ramp. A little bit of over-rotation there on Gunslinger's part. And can he save it? Yes, he will. Thanks to a little extra momentum he had, he was able to save it here. He swings the truck around, drives straight into the motorhome. And will roll it over just as about time will expire for his run. Fairly good start for Gunslinger, as well as a nice demonstration as to how the rollover rule within the first 30 seconds works. So with that, let's move on to the next competitor in our freestyle. Up next, we have your World Finals racing winner, Identity Theft. While Identity Theft didn't win racing here, let's see whether Identity Theft can win a freestyle. Starting off the run by getting some nice air over the bus stack. Up and over the car stack, Identity Theft landing back down in a bounce. Nice air off the racing ramp. Almost goes over on the ramp, but does a little bit of a bicycle against the ground there. Up and over the car stack once again. Nice there off of the racing lane as he lands it right back down. Almost pops a slap wheelie off the ground. Going for the backflip ramp, up into the air he goes. Absolutely humongous air off the ramp yet again tonight. Some humongous air off the center ramp with identity theft. Slams down, loses a wheel, rolls it over. Can he land it on the remaining tires? Doesn't quite look like it. Pretty incredible end to a run here today at the Fairground, but it looks like it may not be enough for a Freestyle championship for identity theft. Let's give them better luck in future events. Up next, we have the Team Hot Wheels Firestorm. Gonna start off big here by going on the backside of the backflip ramp. Up and over the racing tabletop. And right into the gate, and he flips himself onto the other side. Once again getting stuck, we will do the exact same thing we did with Gunslinger. We'll just pull him off, put him back on the track, and he will be allowed to restart. Alright, we pulled him off the track now, so again, as soon as he starts moving, we will restart the clock here. Off he goes. Clock has restarted. Starting off this part of the run big once again by going off the center ramp and not losing a wheel this time. Up and over one of the racing lanes. He comes right back down. Up and over one of the ramps. Doing a bit of a wheelie up and over the other ramp. Pops a bit of a wheelie as he goes up and over. Jumps over the wreckage of the motorhome and takes part of it with him. Oh, and it breaks off his rear wheel. Gets him stuck on his side, but he's able to get back on what remains of the wheels. Now he's just dragging along this piece of motorhome with him, and he seems to have picked up another bit with him. He may have to clean up the wreckage of the motorhome after this, as he puts it into a donut. Team Hot Wheels just depositing part of the motorhome on the track as he tries to crawl up the middle ramp here with only 3 wheels. Keeps part of the motorhome up there as he continues on his run, and he rolls it over once again, but ends up back on all 3 of his tires that remain. And it looks like this time he will roll over for good just as time expires for Hot Wheels Firestorm. Up next we have our final truck for part 1 of this event. We have Alien Invasion. Starting off the run with some huge air off of the ramps, hitting one of the other ramps, flipping the truck forward, and breaking a 4-link bar, looks like. Looks like maybe steering as well, I'm not too sure. As he climbs right up over one of the buses, lands on the sides of the tires, rolls it over, and puts it back on all 4 tires. It definitely looks like steering, and one of the 4-link bars is definitely broken there. right up over the racing lane and clears what's left of the motorhome there. Looks like some of the other competitors didn't leave much for him to hit. Going for the center ramp, high up into the air in a sky wheelie. Heading for the car stack, up he goes. Trying to get himself turned around, but that rear axle definitely is not helping. And one of the four-link bars just completely detaches itself. Up into the air, the truck corkscrews around, lands hard on the top of the roll cage. The truck still seems to be fine despite everything going wrong with the rear axle here. Looks like he's going to try a backflip, and it looks like the rear drive shaft might have broke as he tried to go up the ramp, as the truck rests on its roof. An end of the run here for part 1, and so I will see you again in part 2 of Freestyle.